Watch-CODEWA. Think again. I know I
This is Ephraim Msako. I'm from Zambia. My simple biography: I was born in the year 1984 in the month of October on the 18th. Grew up in the remotest area of Zambia called Kalola. Indeed, issues associated with growing in the village. I grew up there until at a certain age where I started studying. When I was 7, I was admitted into school at a school called Chikula Primary School in Kalola. From there, I wrote my grade 7 at the same school, and then I joined my secondary school at a school called Kafushi Secondary School. When I wrote my grade 9, something that broke my heart happened. Immediately after writing, before the results came out, I lost my precious mother. When my mother died, since I grew up with my mother without dad, she was a single parent. And when she died, I remained with my 3 siblings, devastated, depressed. When the funeral was over, problems and calamities happened, especially to me as the eldest child. My siblings were picked by those that wished to pick them, and I wasn't picked. I was left alone. In the first 3 months after the death of my mother, I lived with a friend that was in the city of Lusaka. A friend who used to do some piece works in town, sweeping the streets of Lusaka, who also couldn't have enough resources to look after me. After 3 months of living with this guy, he decided to also move to join his parents in a province called Southern Province, one of the provinces in Zambia. And their life became so difficult. I visited my uncle to plead with him that he may put me back into school, which never happened. It all proved futile. Until I had no food, no shelter, no one to look after me. I had no option but to face the codes of the nights of Lusaka streets with my friends. At one time we smoked. We used to smoke. I personally used to smoke. There's that stuff which is called bostic. I did some bostic in town, smoking petrol. I thought, no, life would never be good again for me. This is the end, and let me just kill myself. If at all this bostic will kill me, this smoking. In short, I indulged myself in so many illicit things without hoping, without any hope that one day the sun will rise upon my life. One night, whilst I was in the street of Lusaka, I met a certain woman. She was driving a Range Rover. When she parked, I went there to ask if I could clean her car in exchange for a coin, of which she allowed me. I cleaned her car. But when she came back to enter into her car so she can drive off, she looked at me and she called me. "Young boy, come here. What's your name?" I told her about my name and about my life. She told me to go with her into her car and see where she lives so that I may be visiting her at times to just clean a fleet of her cars which she had in one of the suburbs of Lusaka city. So I went with her. She showed me where she was staying. She interviewed me at her house. And then she saw the greatness in me, that this guy, this boy, lacks sponsorship. Otherwise, she can do better. Until after a fortnight or 2 weeks, she came back and picked me and put me into a school in a town called Kabwe. So she took me to Kabwe and enrolled me into a school, at a school called Mukoweko High School in Kabwe. That's where I did my grade 10, 11, and 12 under her sponsorship. When I completed school, My biological father started looking for me when he heard that your son has completed school and he's suffering somewhere. He's just being kept by a certain well-wisher. Mind you, my dad and my mother never got married. They just had me. And I lived with my mother. My father went his way and married another woman where he had my other brothers and sisters. So I grew up with my mother without knowing who dad was. But when I completed school, that's when I first set my eyes on my real dad. He took me as his own biological son and pushed me into secondary school. Or actually, he took me to college. Sorry. I enrolled for a business course called accounts at one of the universities in Lusaka, in Zambia, called the Lumulungushi University, in the town called Kawe, where I did my secondary school. I did my first level, we call this program in Zambia, it's called Zika program. I studied for 1 year and I graduated with a diploma in accounts. Then from there, my life began to change. From the streets and the codes of Lusaka, in the drainages, that's where my bedroom was. That's where everything was. No clothes to change, no anything. To be picked by a good Samaritan, washed in good waters, took to school, and here I am today. A person who never knew that actually I would see light at the end of a tunnel. Yeah, at a time when I graduated from school, accounts, I actually joined an organization called Tobacco Association of Zambia as one of the accounts clerks. Now, whilst I was working there, I met a man called Mr. Kawaye. This man at that time was a son to the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Kawaye. So he came into my office and I was capturing data for his sales. Then I gave him a statement. Then before he left the office, he started inspiring me with a motivational talk. So how much do you get paid here? Such stuff. And then he invited me to his house in Makeni, part of Lusaka. I went there over the weekend and we spoke on length. By the way, this man is younger than me. We talked on length about the benefits of being persistent in life. He's a businessman and he's the person that inspired me to go into business, and he is the man that inspires me now. He owns a company called C.E.O, Zambia, right now, where a lot of people work, and he is the CEO of that company. He told me about falling and waking up. He told me about failure, what failure really is. Failure is when you fall and you fail to wake up. That is failure. Failure is to write an exam, then you fail and you stop. That is failure. Failure is to be enrolled or to be picked by C.E.O. You are in C.E.O. and then your behavior does not match the C.E.O.'s ethics. In the end, you become again a destitute in the streets. That's failure. You failed to cope with those people that got you from the dust. So, he actually spoke about failure and I listened very well, really, what really failure means. Failure is when you fall, you fail to wake up. Then you are failing. But when you fall, you wake up, you try again, you fall again, you wake up, you try again. Definitely, one day, you will make it. Here I am. From those inspirations I was getting from this man, do you know what I did to that organization I was working for? 2 months down the line, I wrote a resignation letter. I resigned. I resigned and began my own company. You know, every time beginning something is difficult. Starting anything in life is difficult. But once you are on it, just know that you get far. Determination, do not rule away failure. Failure will still be there. Don't put it away. It will still be there. You will fail, but wake up and push. So I formed my own company, a tobacco company for that matter. It's a registered company in the Republic of Zambia. It's called Magefa. Magefa Growers Limited. Like I said in the earlier interview, I said I'm into agro business. So I registered this company called Magefa Growers Limited in Zambia. Right now I'm the CEO of this company. I've got my own workers, although we are still a few number of them, but those are my workers and I pay them. I started that company buying some tobacco and reselling in the Republic of Zambia. Here and there, the following year I moved to Malawi. I started buying tobacco in Malawi, bringing to Zambia for resale. My company started growing where I was alone. I employed 3 guys to help me out on the accounts part and other datas. The 4th year, the 6th year, this is the 7th year, I'm in Tanzania. I'm buying in both countries, in Malawi and in Tanzania. The first year of forming this company wasn't easy. Wasn't easy, like I said, starting anything is not easy. It wasn't easy. I had some detentions, you know. People were deterring me, even my own friends. They laughed at me, say, hey, you stop work to form your own company. You. I said, I know what I'm doing until I achieve what I want to achieve. My own dad, my uncles, aunties, some encouraged me, but some told me to say you've gone the wrong way. I'm doing what I'm doing because I need a future. I do not want my children to go through what I went through. And this is one principle that every person, no matter the situation or the troubles that you are passing through, do not allow your children to pass what you are passing through now. At a time when I joined my fellow street kids in the streets of Lusaka, honestly speaking, I had lost hope, if at all I may have a future. But there was this night when I slept in the drainage. I had a dream that actually I was going to the airport with a nice bag. Now, as I reached the airport, the plane was parked. As I reached the airport, someone questioned me to say, where are you going? Do you have a passport? Then I entered into my pocket. Surely the passport was there. And then he said, where are you going? I told him to say, I'm going to America. You're going to America to do what? I'm saying I told him that there's a job there. I've been offered a job in America. Now, as I went into the plane, as the plane engine started running, I woke up from the sleep. That was the last night I smoked petrol. That was my last night I smoked Bostic. That was the last night I ever did any risky thing in the streets. Though I remained in the streets, but I avoided those things. I said, there is still life for me. From that same dream. And it was never so many days until I met this lady I was talking about, who took me out of the streets to wash me up to look the way I am. To me, success is what I've achieved from that time I was in the streets to what I have now. To this life, a washed life like I have now. Just this life that I have, simple as it is, to me, I call it success. I've succeeded from the dirty scratches I was to this washed man you see here. I may have cars at home. I may have my own house. I've got 3 houses that people are renting there. But I do not call that success as per se. But success is me being here, a changed and washed person. I've succeeded. So I want to encourage those that are listening to me and they feel life is not there in them and they feel they can never do it in life. There's a word that always determines my direction. In short, this is a motto for my life. My motto for my life is the word push. P-U-S-H. Those letters P-U-S-H, it's a word called push, but there is a meaning in each word that is in that letter. When you talk of P, you're talking about prayer, patience, and persistency. When you talk of you talk of until. When you talk of S, you're talking of something. And H stands for happening. So when I put these words together, I say push. It's pray until something happens. Pray as prayer, U as until, S as something, H happens. Patience until something happens. Persist until something happens. Do not let go of the belief that you have as an individual. To the young ones that are listening to me, and to those that are in trauma because of what has happened in their lives, not everything is lost. You can still do it. You can still stand. The only thing that I would encourage young ones and those that are listening to this interview is that you shouldn't never ever indulge yourself in illicit things like alcohol, drug, prostitution, that will actually multiply your problems and your life will be ruined the more. Believe this. In whatever thing that you do in life, there are people that will encourage you and some won't encourage you. Some will tell you this you won't manage. Some they even bet to say bet you won't manage. But what will make you pull through is determination. You know what you want and you know why you want to start it. The sky is the limit. Let not any individual limit you. If I heard from my dad, if I heard from my mother to say, no, my son, do not do this. Why did you stop this work? You want to form your own company, you will fail. I wouldn't have been here. But I never listened to anyone because I knew that my focus is on something. And today they are there smiling everywhere. Hey, he's doing fine. Oh, he's doing fine. So this is how life is. Some will help you pull through in life. Some will be pulling you down. There are people that we go, they pull him down syndrome. They are there. They'll pull you down. They'll encourage you. They will tell you the negatives. Only negative. There are people that are just negatives in their lives. Just negatives. You will never hear any positive from their mouths. All they speak is negative. But those are also people. And you shouldn't hate them. Love them. Because they're teaching you something. You are getting experience from them. There's something you are getting from them. They will also get something from you in the end. The kids at CODEWA, I want to encourage you that the fact that you are in CODEWA means the future is granted for you. For as long as you adhere, for as long as You keep yourself within CODEWA's rules and regulations. You are taught what you are taught at CODEWA, you implement it. Definitely the future is granted unto you. You are different, far much different from that friend of yours who is still in the streets and he is not at CODEWA. He doesn't even know there's a CODEWA. You are far much different. The fact that you were picked from where you were picked and you are now administered at CODEWA, your future is guaranteed. Why am I saying your future is guaranteed? You have mentors. You have people that take care of you. You have people that think about your education. You have people that think about your healthy. You have people that think about your social life at CODEWA. This in itself means your future is guaranteed as long as you adhere and you put your education first. Your behavior. Behavioral change is also important. You may be at CODEWA, but if your behavior is not that good, you will not achieve anything. Behavior is the most important thing in one's life. Remember I told you the dream that I had that night of going to the airport. What did I say when I finished that dream? I said from that same night, I stopped all the illicit things, meaning I changed behavior. So behavioral change is important in your education. So not all is lost from you, pupils at CODEWA. I can see there are doctors there. I can see there are nurses there. I can see there are businessmen there. I can see people that will become ministers tomorrow. People that will become permanent secretaries in these ministries. For God's sake, I can see a president of Tanzania from that same CODEWA. What matters is focus, determination, and behavioral change. Here I am, a happy man, married with kids. I hope and understand that this interview and this little brief of my biography will actually make you forge ahead in life and triumph until something happens. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Think I can, I know I can. Na 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 na. CODEWA.